but don't. The children are going to wait until after we have a missions report from those who went to Reynosa about a month ago. So I'm going to turn it over to them. Before I do, just welcome to everyone. Welcome to our visitors. And if you see a visitor, greet them. We're glad that you're here. And I'm going to turn it over to Julie. So, all right, thanks.
Can y'all hear me? Okay, just, no, don't start it yet. Don't start it yet. Stop it. Sorry. Back in July, we, John and Jennifer Bricken led about 22 people from our church and met a different church down there as well with that 8 other people. Went down to Isaiah 55 to serve the mission down there. We had ages 8 to 85, so that's pretty all-inclusive. If you think you can't go because of your age, you can think again. So we're going to get a short report from some of the members that went with us, and then we're going to show you a slideshow.
All right, I'm Nick Freeman. I was told I could only have 1 minute. I could probably stand up here for hours and talk. It was one of the greatest trips I've ever been on. I've been to Disney World snow skiing, but this is up there with anything I've ever done. It was a very impactful trip. One of the things that stand out the most to me is the bonding that occurs on a team, especially when you leave the world behind, cell phones, computers. You're there with your community, your church, and even people who don't go to this church but part of the body of Christ, and worshiping, singing songs, and you come back with just a very deep relationship. And to me, that's something that stood out to me when I got back and I noticed is just how close everybody was. Second thing is I was on a construction crew at a site we called Baghdad. It was an old landfill in Reynosa, Mexico, that they had built a home and school for handicapped children. And we were building a dorm room. At the end of the week, the people there, which ranged from those with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, got together to celebrate us being there. And one man, an individual with cerebral palsy, played us a song on the piano. And he sang, had one of the most beautiful voices. And it just occurred to me that God was using a lady and handicapped individuals on a landfill in Reynosa, Mexico, to spread the gospel and make a difference. And, God can work in amazing places. He can work anywhere. So I'm just going to ask my 2 who went, 8-year-old James and Millie, really would encourage you to take your kids. They had a great time. So, James, what was your favorite thing or best memory from the Reynosa trip?
Going to the construction site.
And what did you do on the construction site?
Worked on the roof.
All right, James worked on the roof. He was no stranger to heights. Millie, what do you remember? What was your best memory from the Reynosa trip?
Getting ready and painting and doing crafts for the outreach event that the Mexican kids put on Little Red Riding Hood. And so we got ready and painted.
All right, thank you. Hear me?
I'm Emery Roth, and the mission trip was great. It was really eye-opening for me because I'm rarely tasked with physically challenging jobs, like mixing concrete in 100-degree heat. So through that, I just kind of learned to rely on God, not only spiritually, but physically as well. And I really do hope to go back. It was awesome.
Hi, I'm Lizzie Lynn Taylor. My favorite part about Reynosa was working in a big group with a lot of people, and then chips and guac and Coke at the end of a workday.
The fresh chips and guac were great. I'm Jessica Taylor, and this trip for our family was truly a godsend for us. Hal and I have been praying for many years that God would provide opportunities for us to be able to expose our children at a young age to missions and ministry and across the world. And through this, he provided that, and we are so thankful. And we're so thankful that all 4 of us as a family were able to go together. So if your family is able to go, do it. I strongly, strongly encourage it. It is truly one of the most bonding things your family can do. And we had a great time. The team, I just can't say enough about how wonderful the team was. And Kate and Nono and their team down there, it was such a pleasure to get to know them. And the ministry that they have down there is incredible, so impactful. And so we had a great time.
I'm Jennifer Bricken, and John and I have been several times, and we will keep going back. So this was like y'all's first time, but when you go there, you start to get to know the neighborhood and the kids in the neighborhood and Kate and Nono and all the missionaries that work there, and you want to keep going back and serving them and helping them. And you see, like, we saw some of the same kids at the community night that Millie was talking about. Their siblings were in the little Red Riding Hood, and so the older ones came back to see us that we had done art with like 5 years before. So it's really fun to kind of feel like you know them and you know what they're doing, and you can pray for them and pull for them. I'm even going to send some seed packets to one of the missionaries that's trying to grow a garden in his backyard, and we talked about that a lot this weekend or that weekend, and just things like that where you feel really connected to them and you can support and love, and then it's great to get together and work too. Thank you.
Thank y'all. One thing Nick didn't say is that he can drive a backhoe and spin cotton candy at the same time. And Jessica pretty much looks like this even when she's in Reynosa in 105-degree heat. I do not. We're going to show y'all a quick slideshow, and then that's it. We're going to have a trip next summer, so watch details coming for that. Thank y'all.
I'm doing great. All right. Thanks to the missions team for going, and thank you for that report. And children may line up at the doors to go to their classes. And the only announcement I have, and then I'll pray, if you're in the Nancy Guthrie class, or if you're in the class that's Every Man a Warrior, those two classes are going to switch places, but there'll be people up there to help you know where to go. Nancy Guthrie class and Every Man a Warrior, switching places. Can I pray while the children are leaving? I don't know. I may let it go. Hey. Was that Carlson? Man. How's it going? Good, how are you? Good. I think we'll just let it go. You just continue to have fellowship, and then we'll dismiss at